certainly everybody's into the streaming market, but they got to get their signals into IP and get streaming. And I've got Mike Nann here from Magewell, and just tell us a little about that and your big news.
Sure, thanks Dan. Well, Magewell really has sort of three pillars that we built our business on, but they all revolve around bridging signals, streams, and IP networks. You know, the first product lines that a lot of people know us for are the capture interfaces, just for bringing video signals into software. And those have been popular for many years. But, you know, a few years ago we started branching out into standalone streaming devices, converting those signals into all sorts of different streaming formats. And then as the IP revolution and the transition to IP-based workflows took over, we got into more AV over IP conversion as well as another pillar for us. Now, here at IBC, one of our biggest news is the fact that we've launched into a brand new product category that combines all of these different pillars and the expertise we built up into our first all-in-one production solution. So we announced a box called Director Mini. It's about this big, that's why the mini part. But it brings in all the video signals, HDMI, USB, all the IP formats.
So it's a full switcher, mixer type thing.
It's everything.
On, yeah.
The whole idea is that it's really designed to allow a single operator to do a complete production, all on a camera mount device that's completely portable. So it's got multi-input switching, graphics, telestration, keying, streaming, recording, and monitoring, all on one box.
So it's got a little pad for the telestrator?
So you don't need a pad because the whole thing is touchscreen operated. So this box goes right on the camera and you can be drawing with your finger on it doing telestration. It has built-in scoreboard functionality too, so you can actually generate the scoreboard graphics, and you could be incrementing the scores yourself if you want, but if you're busy telestrating, there's a companion smartphone app, so somebody else that's there can actually be incrementing the scores and all that for a complete sports production.
So when you look at the sports market, actually, a lot of areas now are doing smaller sports, streaming, more niche oriented, so localized.
Well, you take look at some of the major pro leagues, but they also have their summer leagues, or they also do special events or charity events and that sort of thing, and they want to, they don't put those on the big broadcast networks necessarily, but on their spin-off streaming channels. And that's where we see a huge application for this.
That's perfect, Mike. So what other stuff have you got?
Well, we still have capture cards, of course, because that's been really popular for us, and especially when we're talking to other manufacturers. A lot of people come to us, they've got these embedded devices or really small devices. They can't fit a full-size capture card in, but they need high-performance capture. So a few years ago, we launched a product line called EcoCapture, which is, M.2 size, the stick of Trident gum sort of size of a capture device, specifically for other manufacturers and integrators to build into the products they're creating. So we launched two new models of that recently. One is, both of them do 4K 60. One's SDI input, one's HDMI input. And again, the idea is that, high performance video capture made smaller. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is really about management and scale. Because as the IP revolution has taken over and more people have moved to IP-based workflows, people are deploying dozens or hundreds of encoders and decoders. And if you look at a remote production workflow as a perfect example, those could be scattered over different sites, even different countries. But you want to be able to manage them all centrally from one location. So we recently launched our second generation management software, Control Hub, which allows people to manage literally hundreds of Magewell devices for streaming and IP conversion across all of these different locations, and do things like convert between streaming protocols if they have legacy equipment in the workflow that doesn't interoperate.
So what's next on the horizon?
Well, for us, it really is making all of these workflows more efficient and easier for people, for broadcasters and production companies of all sizes. You look at the big broadcasters move to IP first, but smaller broadcasters, regional broadcasters often were a little further behind. But we see a huge opportunity for them in cost savings and flexibility. So we keep adding new features that are tailored specifically towards them and making the products very cost effective for them as well. The other piece is partnerships. Obviously in this business, not everybody can serve everything, and working really closely with a lot of our partners to really tightly integrate and certify so customers really can have that confidence right out of the box that everything is going to seamlessly work together for them.
Well, I'm anxious to come over and play with your new mixer. So
awesome.
Thanks for the chat today, Mike.
You're welcome. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.